let's get everything moving. So. What is happening, right? And I have a scenario where we're going to be going on. You're my only friend, Alvarez. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. That's a sad thing to be. What I think is going to happen, because so far what I've said is moving in the exact direction of what I was thinking about. Hello, Lamar. Lamar, please message me afterwards. I need you to send me your thing so I can provide it on the stream. I keep forgetting. I'm just super busy at the moment. What is happening at this present moment? What's happening is that we've had a run into the FOMC. And the FOMC, I watched it the other day. And while I think it was very measured, I genuinely don't think it was either hawkish or dovish, right? But reading into what happened, reading into the understanding of where we are and what's going on and what they're doing is showing some underlying things that we all really, really need to listen to. We need to really gather the information of what they're saying and what they're doing really importantly, right? And this is the thing that I want everyone to be very, very clear and understanding. At this present moment, we are in a state of cautious bulls, right? And I'm going to explain to you what that means, right? And this is after a conversation. Where I was yesterday was a really interesting person. The guy owns some very, very interesting financial institutions. So I was having a chat with him. And this is the statement he said, and I'm going to explain it to you, right? We are currently in a situation of cautious bulls. And the best type of bulls are cautious ones. Because what that means is that they are currently dry powder that they can deploy at any second. And that deploy at any second aspect of this market where we're sitting in right now is the fundamental thing that we need to understand. Liquidity, market conditions are not great. We are not in a scenario where you could say that employment is fantastic, unemployment is looking great, the markets are looking very strong, and this, that, and the other. We can't really say that. Well, we can in some specific areas. And that specific area, and I'll start very quickly getting into the whole thing, is the S&P 500. You remember I was saying that there is a very high chance that we're going to come and test this level and potentially break through. And the reason why I said that is because we're in a very unique scenario right now. We broke history yesterday and no one's talking about it. Actual history. We are currently broken through the highest level of breadth in the economy in history. And if you want to understand what that means, breadth means the spread of stocks in the S&P 500 that is showing growth. So when the breadth of a stock or the indicator shows, when it's tight, when it's lower down, when it's down, where did that go? Come here, my friend, 1 second. When it is down here, wait, are things working? 1 second. Let me just make sure. Things are looking good. All right, okay. When you see the breadth of the stock market and the S&P 500 down here, when it is at a point where things are lower down, it means that the few stocks are the things that are creating the movement in the stock market, right? And most in this scenario, the S&P 500. But when the breadth is this far wide, we are in full-blown history at the moment. It has never been this this wide in history. That's what she said, and that's why she's not married, right? It it creates a scenario where we're in a situation where all stocks are growing. At the same time, we're coming into a point where the Fed is full on started its cutting cycle. And on top of that, one second, before I explain this, I just want to check out something. Why, brother, are you not working? Can you explain this to me? Brother. God. One second. Gentlemen. There is a small technical issue. But it wouldn't be an Alvarez stream without a technical issue. So you guys should be privileged to experience the godlike scenario of what's happening right now. 1 second. Let's get this moving and then we can go from there. All right. Okay. All right. Okay, I think that's working now. Fantastic. Just make sure that looks good. Are you working? Let me just check something. Wait, guys, I didn't see your chat. Here we go. It's the widest in history, but it isn't working. Story of my... Right. It's the the breadth of all stocks is the widest it's ever been. It means that a large section of the S&P 500 is growing. We're going into a cutting cycle, and more importantly, the Fed has described that they are going to be buying $40 billion worth of T-bills a month. This, without them saying it, is a form of quantitative easing. It is a pure injection into the economy. So I am expecting the S&P 500 to really start to move. I'm expecting to move. And I'm expecting this 6,910 is going to be a very, very important area. Watch this extremely closely, because I want to show you some other things as well, right? We're in a scenario right now where even in the S&P 500, we have not seen euphoric sentiment. We have not seen an environment where stocks are rallying in a manner in which questions people about how this thing can still go up. And you don't get those things where we can see constant moving up, constant growth, constant, the statements that come across in scenarios where you think tops are developing at this present moment. So the euphoria isn't here, right? So it is looking like, especially when you compare it and this is only S&P 500. I'm gonna get the crypto in a quick second, right? Especially when you look in what can be described as the 7-year cycle of what we would describe the S&P 500 goes through, where we're only really in the 3rd year. We have the AA2 indicator has not even it's at bear market bottom. We're in a scenario where we don't have any of these things going in that direction. So I'm expecting the point at which these rate cuts finish and this eventual tsunami of liquidity that's going to be growing due to the Fed continuously fueling in liquidity, and at the same time having a new change of the Fed chair, which is going to be a very bullish move into the economy, but has to be very, very carefully done, right? Especially if there is some level of inflation starting to creep up, right? Done in a positive way, in a clear cut way, then I'm expecting the next section of where we're going to be violently positive. Now, that doesn't mean that we will not see negative movements in some of our favorite assets, namely Bitcoin. Now, if the S&P 500 starts to rally, right? If we see a very positive close above this, the bank told me number, which they told me literally months ago. Yeah, and you say I don't know anything. I'm just like, yeah, Razmatazama, right? And closes and shows is a higher close, so above the 6,922 would be ideal. That's going to show a form of continuation and a perfect V-shaped recovery. This is looking strong. This is looking like this could potentially even push up towards the 7,000. Whereas in Bitcoin, because we have a scenario right now where we not only have cautious investors, not only do we have this limiting factor of the exchange of dollar to stable coins being somewhat mute, in fact reducing, we are in a scenario where Bitcoin and altcoins are getting slowly strangled with liquidity. That there is going to cause a scenario where I believe, and I think this is what I'm thinking is going to happen. We will get this push, because what we're slowly developing in Bitcoin at this present moment is certain market structures that are looking like we're going to see a test of these lower areas at some point. At some point, this is going to be. And unfortunately, CD, these dates are impossible. How could you know that? It is impossible to know what these dates are, because you will get catalysts, key players that will move a market in one way or another, what I would call market makers. Sometimes market makers are not institutions, that are actually large players, are the ones that are going to be doing this. You just have to see the key levels and the indicators where they hit, and if they reject, that's what I would say is a point where you should be able to play the lower levels. By the way, guys, I need 10,000 likes. 10,000 likes and I'll be happy. So that's that situation. If we can get to 100,000, even better. Now, that's the scenario. I mean, if we start looking at these, I mean, and I don't want to say, and usually it's market makers playing around and stuff, but we are creating, it's quite simplistic to say this, but we are creating some market structures that look like we're going to see a test of these lower levels. At minimum, I would say at least a test of this bottom wick, because it's happened several times before, right? It's happened several times before. It's happened here, right? It's happened here, and every time it's caused a run up afterwards. But it's happened. These major wicks. Why are you there? Major wicks. That's what she said. Has happened several times before. I've like 3K already, so I have to save some finger strengths for the girl. Now, it would have been better, Mr. T, if you didn't put the girl in there, because then I would have finished the joke, right? I would have finished the joke, and then you would have been like, yeah, Rev. But look, you've seen it happen before, right? Market structure has a way of cleaning out inefficiencies, and this wick is an inefficiency. So what I'm going to say is this, right? I would say is this. I wholeheartedly believe that in the next week or so, right? In the next week or so, we will go and test the levels I've been talking about for about a week and a bit now, right? Which emails you have, I'll get into that at the end, right? I still believe this 98 to 100,000 level is going to be very, very important. It's going to be very, very important to try and test. Maybe we won't get there, but I still believe that is going to be an area we're going to be testing, especially if the SPX or the S&P 500 really starts to. If you want to see the levels, by the way, you can go and see it here. Look right there. Either one of these. In fact, if you go to the tube and follow, that would be absolutely amazing. I'm trying to get to like 2,000 followers, but people are not following. Maybe I'm not that good. Right. So I'm thinking, no, I think up first. I think up first. I think they're going to test key level, and it could be, genuinely could be, the rejection of this 6,900 at level, because we're coming into a incredibly key point in the S&P 500. I think it's going to break through. I really do think so. But I think if you look at Bitcoin, I think two levels are going to be I would say one of the two levels are going to be tested, either around the 98 to 100,000, this area here, or more importantly, I would say, genuinely more importantly, I would say, is around the 104,000, right? And this is the thing, I would say, this 104,000 area is a very, very important area because it holds the entry point into the key level, the key factor that's going to that is the area of support and resistance. This zone here is the ultimate SR flip zone. If we can get above the 109 and hold above there, then 200,000 Bitcoin is wholeheartedly possible. I just don't see how they're going to do that without the level of liquidity that is needed, especially when you're sitting in this environment where the Fed is just started pumping in liquidity, cutting interest rates. All of these things are injections. And the thing that people don't understand, and this is really important as well, right? Because people think that the Fed injecting and cutting interest rates and all this kind of stuff in a scenario where technically we ain't that bad, right? We're not in the worst scenario either. Inflation isn't that bad. Unemployment is kind of ticking over, slightly going in one direction and the other. But we're not, it's not dire situation. Unemployment is apparently, right? Apparently we're not in dire situation. Why can't I get in here? Why am I hearing myself? Right? We're not in dire situation. But I will say this. The Fed wouldn't do any type of liquidity injection if they didn't see something coming. I want everyone to be very clear about this. If you believe that if the Fed believed that everything was amazing, they wouldn't be doing any of the things they're doing. They'll cut potentially to have a bit of stimulus and help with the level of liquidity in the market. But them actually sitting in a scenario where they're fully buying T-bills, right? They're wholeheartedly putting in $500 billion worth of investment over a year period to prop up liquidity in the market. That there, my friend, is a sign that something could potentially crack, and they're trying to preempt it. This is the thing that they're saying, oh yeah, it's great, they're pumping in liquidity. Yeah, but they're doing that for a reason, right? So we need to be careful and balanced, and that's why these cautious bulls, right? The cautious ones, the ones that see that there are positivity working in the direction, but they don't want to go full risk on in this environment, is the issue that we're facing at the moment. And they're looking at what you could describe as somewhat safe havens. That's why you see metals doing unbelievably well. That's why you see things like, I think copper is next, genuinely. I think after silver, copper, you're going to see copper do some stupid, silly things, right? That's what I think is. And when you see things like that happening, these aren't signs of strength in the economy, right? However, right? We have got some strong signs here. We do have potentially the 10-year treasury yields breaking down. This break of this key level here around the 4%, let's say 4.1%. If it breaks down below that, we're going to see some really healthy movements in the market. Because what's happening at the moment, especially at the in early of next week, there's got to be a treasury sale, right? They're going to be offloading more debt into the economy. But I'll say this also, another thing that people just don't understand: the government accounts are at the highest it's ever been. Its expenditure is at the lowest it's ever been. We're in a scenario where we have liquidity restraints at maximum levels, but the US debt has increased by $500 billion. So we're in this scenario right now where there is a spiraling problem that they need to get hold of. And this is the thing, what the Fed is doing. They've put the brakes on everything, and they still can't get in control of the debt, right? So we're in a scenario where we're at the beginning, but usually at beginnings, we will see a initial sign of strength where we will see things moving up in a really lovely way. We'll go and look like, oh, everything's over. Oh, you guys are all like fools and idiots and all this kind of stuff. You know, the bull run is here. It will always go, and I'll say this, right? In my experience, 10 to 15% more than you think is going to go. So you'll say, oh, it'll be in the 100. Oh, I went to 115. Oh my God, that's amazing. Oh, what the hell? This is crazy. And then dump it on your face hard, right? Hard. Because this is the thing. It's all about manipulating your understanding and your emotions and making you believe something's going to go one way and then it evolving the other way. Trapping those leverage traders, the speculators that you see at a constant rate and a constant understanding in this market to try and get that liquidity. Because understand this, right? Understand this. If Bitcoin gets to 114, we're still in a bearish posture. This is where we are at this present moment. The only way you could say, okay, we are definitely still in a bull run is if it gets over 115, 500. Because that is a higher high than the previous high. Right? And also, I'm going to say something else to everyone, right? The Japan Fed rate is coming in on the 19th, right? Around the 19th, it's coming there. That 19th level that's coming is they are going to raise interest rates. I bet my chair on this Fed rate coming. By the way, you guys owe me 100,000 likes, but you guys don't hold your side of the bet, obviously, apparently, right? And it happened. And I bet my chair again that they're going to increase the interest rates. Now, the initial reaction, in my humble opinion, is not going to be what everyone expects, right? By the way, if everyone X can retweet the live, that would be very much appreciated. Honestly, that would mean a lot to get the live out there. How many people are on there? 100 people. Is that 100? Yeah, if we could get, I mean, there's 100 people on there. If you guys can, like 20, 30 people, if you can retweet, that would be very much appreciated. Now, let me look at some of the chat on here. So we pump 12th December onwards. No, I think, what do you mean? What's the date today? Potentially, right? Potentially. So this is what I want to say to everyone on this side. We're in a scenario, right, where there is fatigue in the market. There is lack of confidence, and in cryptocurrency, complete lack of liquidity. We're in a scenario where all of this is going on. And I will say this, though, right? And I want to explain this in time stamps and time periods so you guys can really, really fathom what and absorb what I'm saying. Right now, it's like that. Right now, we're in a scenario where things are not perfectly aligned. Because you need to understand, in crypto and in this industry, it runs off the excess liquidity from established markets, right? Why do you care about Japan interest rates? You kind of manipulate them. I'm manipulating the market. I wish I had that power. No, the reason why I care about the Japan interest rates is because Japan is the financier of the world. Easily the financier of the world. They have 0.5% interest rates on their loans, and there is a scenario in this market where it basically funds the world. There's something called the yen carry trade, and it's not even just the yen carry trade. It is just cheap financing. You will see that every time an interest rate hike happens in Japan, it is a further strain on the liquidity of the world, in essence. There's a reason why the Fed is fueling in liquidity, because they fully expect Japan to reduce liquidity. And it's in essence trying to balance that factor out, because if they didn't do that and the Fed and the Japanese Fed cut, liquidity would be even more cut. It would be a scenario where you would be sitting companies desperate for liquidity to gain loans, and they can't. There was a graph I've shown many times before. I need to go and find it, but I'll check it out next time, where the comparison between the amount of debt wanted from companies and the amount of debt taken out is a complete skew. The amount wanted is very high. The amount taken out is very low. And the reason why it's low is because the constraints on liquidity, the interest rates are so high that it's not financially viable. And a majority of these markets and gold and metals and cryptocurrency and this and the other are usually come from some form of a carry trade, right? Where they take cheap liquidity from Japan, bring it over to another country and invest into assets that bring a higher yield and pay off the small little bit of interest they have. And we're talking about trillions of dollars here. We're not talking about small amounts of money. We're talking multiple country GDP levels of money that's moving from there, right? Now, a lot of countries and a lot of people are preempting this. They know this is baked in, right? They know that they're going to cut. With the sheer move of the government bond yield going through some insane levels. I mean, it's the 2-year is almost at 1.2%. It's never been 1.2% ever in history, including when the crash happened multiple years back, right? So that shows that the lack of growth and increase in inflation, partly due to the tariffs that Donald Trump gave, unfortunately, right, is going to cause them to increase. But they've increased it before. And last time it happened, they increased and we saw a dip in the market momentarily. When I say momentarily, over a period of a couple of months. So this is the thing. This is what I'm expecting to happen. I'm expecting that this new liquidity coming in, the Fed cutting, this bullish change of sentiment in the market is going to cause S&P to go up. Then there's going to be a spillover into more risk on assets to try and ascertain a larger yield from their money. And then I will expect these markets to have a bit of a move. But ultimately, with the restraint of liquidity at this moment, because these decisions that happen take time to fuel into the economy. It takes time for things to move and settle itself in the economy, right? So by the time that happens, it gets to a situation where we will be where COVID periods will be. I need that to understand that the level of liquidity that will be in the market will be crazy. This is what I'm trying to say. So I know everyone is tired. I know everyone is absolutely, destroyed. Everyone is sitting in a scenario where we're coming off a year where we haven't had a euphoric top, right? We haven't had this euphoric blow off top. But what happens? There was only one other time that's happened. That was in 2019, right? Which is here. Yeah, 2019. The next, though, was that. The next move that we had was a 9x. So this is the thing I want to explain to you, right? This is the thing that you need to understand. I wholeheartedly expect a move up and then a test of most probably the 200-day moving average. around the 70,000 to possibly 75,000. By the time it gets to this moving average, will probably reach around the 74,000 between these levels here, right? I wholeheartedly expect that area to be tested. And I would say this, right? This is the singular thing I'm going to be doing, right? If, and this is my opinion, don't listen to me, don't know what I'm talking about. This ain't financial advice. There are monkeys that are clever than what I'm going to say, and all that kind of stuff and jazz and caveats, and please don't listen to what I'm talking about. This is a cubic Rube and I got a haircut and all that kind of stuff, right? Just making sure that I'm doing all of the things that you don't come back, right? Is this. I'm going to watch these two levels. Around 98 to 100. 104, and if that breaks through, I would say the 109. Those three levels are the three levels I'm looking at. And I'm going to see at each level, does it break through? Does it gain strength? Is there SR flip strength to resistance movement? Each level. If I see a lower time frame break of structure to the downside, I'm shorting everything. Everything. I'm telling you now. That is what I'm going to be doing. If I see that, and if everyone needs to see that, and if anyone to have an understanding of where you're going, they can go and join the pro group, and I'll be putting a lot of stuff in there, right? If I see that, that will be the trigger for me to go, all right, this is, because I'm expecting that to happen. That's my thesis of I expect that to happen. That's it. But at the same time, I'm expecting a move up. So you see, no, Mo. I'm please. I think you came in late, so you understand the factor of what I'm talking about. I'm talking in time spans here. Short term, I'm expecting some form of bullish move. Medium term, I'm expecting bearish price movement. Long term, when I'm saying about 6 months, I would say 6 months. We're going to be in a scenario, and I mean this the best way possible. Within that 6 months will be the moment that you enter. So please understand what I'm saying. Will be the moment that you enter and will have the best entry of your life. You are going to be in a scenario, and look, no one is saying this, right? And I want everyone is like, oh, bearish, it's over. Da, da, da. No one is explaining to you, and I'm gonna put it up here. Do I have it here? Oh, I think I lost that one. Is it in this one? No, it's not here either. I think I lost it. Yeah, it's gone. Let me see if it's on a larger one. Yeah, no, I don't know where they're gone. I want this here. Here, is that big enough? Can you guys read that? Can everyone read what I am? What's on the screen right now? I need everyone to like write this on the walls, on your hands, on your t-shirts. If you're in this industry and want to see what you're looking for, the things that you're looking for is this. This is what you need to understand. And you are guys, everyone is lucky to be in this scenario where you could be potentially gain entries at this scenario. Not only that, gain entry in a scenario where we haven't had a euphoric top. We've hadn't had a euphoric top. What do you think the next top is going to be? What do you think the next top is going to be? You saw the difference between, you see that, I mean, visually, 2009, the next bull run. You're talking of magnitudes higher. That's it. That's all I'm going to say. That's my only thing that I will talk about. Now let's go through some of these key graphs and factors so I can get off my monologuing. Now, one level that I expect on the total market cap to hit I mean, it's tried it several times at 3.15. I think the 3.24 is going to be a level where it's going to test. I think that that area there will most probably be a rejection zone. Watch that area there. The 3.24 will be an area where if it regains. Now, I want to say this to everyone as well. I'm not saying this is definite. If those levels and the parameters I'm looking at are gained and moved, right, then I would say, right, I think we have to change our understanding. That's what a trader should actually be doing. They shouldn't be just holding on to, oh, look, this is blue. It will always be blue. People who say that will eventually be right. They will look like geniuses, right? They will look like geniuses. Talking about bears, right? Bears, right? They'll look like geniuses, but I will say, bears can be right sometimes. They can be geniuses sometimes. But you know who makes the money? The bulls. Always. Yeah? That's the thing I will say. Now, this is looking like it's going to go and possibly test this 3.25 to 3 area, and that will be an area. Tell that to James Wynn. Yeah, James Wynn is a character. I think he's an antagonist, to be honest. I don't actually know where his money comes from. I think that area there will be most probably a rejection zone for this, right? If we regain that, then we'll change our plans, and I'll be on every live, so you guys come to live and listen to what I'm showing and looking at and all that kind of stuff. It would be very much appreciated. You go from there. Will not test crab all the way to late January. Simple. Could be. We'll see. The market and sort of price actions look saying differently. We'll see. Partly also the fact we need to look at this as well. We see daily exchange volume just tapering off into like nothing, right? And it's getting lower and lower and lower and lower. And the fact that this is going low means that there's no new liquidity coming into the market. So be careful of those kind of things. And you need to get into projects that are going to be long-term, right? Are going to have a long-term play, a long-term move, a long-term aspect on that side. And there's one here, if you guys are interested, actually. You guys interested? I'll show it to you anyway, right? There's one here. This one, right? FXI. This has been created by an ex-Chainswap dev. This is what I'm saying, right? If you guys want to really be interested in looking at something, there is a actual game attached to this. If you go to their socials, right? If you go to their website, yeah, all that kind of stuff. This is a real game. This is a real thing where you can create your characters. You can be a manager of a game. You can swap your games. You can swap your players. There's going to be an internal, RWA type of thing where they have an internal market. You're going to have poly market aspects to it, all of that kind of stuff. And all of the tokens that are earned, if you go into here, right? If you go into here and actually, you have your daily requests and all of those things, you mine actual token that actually has a value to it. This is something, and I'll just, because I'm heavily involved in the marketing of this thing. I'm just letting you guys know that, being completely honest and straightforward. I know who's been onboarded on this, right? I know who's been onboarded. I can't say, but if you see how slick this looks, like if you see the slickness of this thing, and if you go into the game, you'll understand what I'm talking about. I'm just saying. That's all I'm saying. All right. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, that's that situation. So that's the thing. If you want to check it out, you can go and see it. It's the first XY, and where is the thing here? Yeah, here we go. There you go. It's this one here. The 6B37, if you want to check it out. It's a cool thing. I'm actually playing it right now, so you understand that aspect. I might even create a team base that we guys can all be a part of. We'll see. We'll see what happens. It's fun. It's a fun thing. Now, where was I talking about? Now, if we look at USDT dominance, right? If we look at USDT dominance, come on. My internet's so slow. Look, we're in a price structure right now, a a price action, price structure that is looking to try and break out. The way this looks right now, it looks like it's going to try and break out. And the breakout, unfortunately, will possibly hit around the 8% mark, right? Now, I'm expecting a rejection of this, which will play into why I'm saying there could be a potential rally, and test these bottom levels around the 55-day, the 5.6 level. I'm thinking around that level will be tested. And then from that moment, we'll come at the same pace of what's happening in the market with what I'm saying. Because if we look, 1, 2, 3, 4, the fourth attempt is trying to get through. So we might not even make it down to here. Ares, it looks like a prison break. Reject at what price? Not level. What? Sorry, I'm just trying to understand what that means, man. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm confused. I'm on. Oh right. Oh right. Okay. I hope you're okay. Yeah, volume is key. I swear I said the volume is down, right? Exchange volume. I'm looking at the only thing that I have to understand the volume. Exchange volume is down. More importantly, pumps are on a downward trajectory as well. You see this, like you see that each pump is lower and lower and lower and lower, right? These are not good signs to point towards a progressive growth in the market. So this is the thing I'm talking about. We are in a scenario where things are looking a bit. I still think that it will reject from here, and we will get some form of positive movement coming into the market. It's giving me that look, and there are multiple structures here that is pointing towards a break up, and a breakthrough of this zone in the USDT dominance will be both very bad for not only Bitcoin but also alts as well. Because look, say you remove that, there's also another structure coming here, right? These are all bullish price structures, right? Price action. A lot of things here are very, very bullish. But bullish in USDT dominance is a bad sign, right? These are not very, very good things. Anyway, this is in Bitcoin in particular. Now, if we look at Bitcoin dominance, it's just teetering. Stop doing that. Why are you doing that? Oh my god. 1 second. Right? If you look at Bitcoin dominance, it's just teetering around. This is the thing. I still think that this has a real chance for a breakout up. So we're looking like we're in a scenario where USDT dominance could break down. So we could see a pump. Bitcoin dominance looks like it's about to have a breakout up as well, which will mean that Bitcoin and all other aspects will grow. I mean, Bitcoin will grow faster than alts, but it will still move up, right? S&P 500 is looking great. I think that's going to break through. Now, gold, as I said, it's going to break through. I said that it's looking like this thing is going to break through, and the break of this and the support of the previous high looks like this thing will most probably test the 4,375. In fact, possibly break through it. Honestly. Someone told me 7,000. I was like laughing at them. Oh my god. Anyway, 4-year cycle dead. I just want to say this, right? I want to say this. Previously, the 4-year cycle was a thing, right? It's happened twice before, so everyone's saying, oh, it's going to happen again, right? There are factors that will rhyme. It will. There are things that will rhyme and everything else. And you need to ask yourself this question, right? If you can't answer the question of it goes down because it's a 4-year cycle and you don't understand or know the reason why, what the why is about it. If you can't say it's the 4-year cycle and it's because of this, and I can point to it in the market because of this, then that 4-year cycle is just a term. It's a marketing term. It needs to have something behind it, right? It needs to have something that has some backing behind it. Now, where are we right now? Now, if we look at the dollar, right? We're having that breakdown that I described at this present moment, right? I said that it's looking like this thing is going to have a retest and possible it will possibly take out this lower wick, see and test this area here. This also bodes towards a movement up in assets such as the S&P 500 and ultimately Bitcoin and potentially some level of alts, not massive levels, but potentially some level of alts in that manner, right? So all of these things are pointing in the right direction, even though we're seeing a beautiful rundown in the VIX. If we can settle around between the 14 and the 15, which we're almost there, this market looks primed to run. It's looking like a short-term move is there in the books. Even the total 3 has taken out a key level of the wick, and it looks like it has a potential to run. But whether if you ask me that we're in a scenario where we will break all-time highs is another matter. I will only concede that. And the thing is, I want you to understand this as well. I will be playing every movement of this market. Up, down, left, right, and center. Maybe not left, right, and center, but up and down, I will be playing it. Just because I said I don't think it's going to go to all-time highs and break all-time highs, potentially in what we're looking at right now with the liquidity markets and everything else on that level, doesn't mean you should not feel that you should play the market as it is. You play it. Because what will happen, and I want to protect you against this. This is the thing that I'm trying to protect everyone against, is going in too late. If you go and it gets up towards this 97, 98, 100,000 level, which is a psychological level that needs to be is very strong and understood in the markets, right? If it goes around those levels, you don't want to be trapped late. You don't want to be that person that's late to the market and then it traps you and it dumps it back down. So I'm explaining to you that if you see if things are pointing towards a bullish momentum and you want to play it, don't go like a 3000x leverage. Please stop doing that, right? If you go on that type of aspect, then I highly believe that there's going to be a movement in that direction. If we break all-time high, I'll stop believing the 4-year cycle. Okay. Okay, sure. So it's better to go DCA now, maybe with a lower leverage than leverage up. If you go leverage, it's going to cut. Look, leverage is short-term plays. Please, I want everyone to understand that. You get in, you get out. That's it. Because this market is one player can move this market. People think that this cryptocurrency industry is massive. It's very small. Very, very, very small. So you understand this. Just so you understand this, right? So people get an understanding of how easily this market will get manipulated. This sell, like this move, was one whale. One whale did that. And this is where I'm coming to an area where I would watch very, very carefully. ETH is looking in a good position right now. I would keep your eyes on ETH because that very one whale that sold that massive amount of Bitcoin is buying into Ethereum. And what's happening with Ethereum at the moment is that there is this move happening where Ethereum is wholeheartedly moving into an institutional play. And because it's an institutional play, I believe that this thing is going to have a stronger move than Bitcoin at this present moment, especially as we've got to a scenario where Bitcoin has pretty much done its run. And I'm having trouble seeing it getting any higher than where it is. That's the thing. Does Bitcoin need to hold 90K for ETH to run? Maybe. The reason why I'm saying maybe is because we're in a scenario where these two are moving one away from each other. Because look, another thing I want you guys to look at, right? And it's a cool little thing to look at. Look at the MicroStrategy Bitcoin pair. Just make sure you keep an eye on that. Because you will usually see, right? You will usually see MicroStrategy start to have a counter rally or a move before Bitcoin starts to move, right? This is the thing. If we see MicroStrategy start to break previous low-level I can't do it on the things. I apologize. Yeah, if you start to see structures break, so previous high structures break on MicroStrategy in relation to Bitcoin, you start seeing that MicroStrategy is doing better than Bitcoin, and that is usually the litmus test for the further growth of Bitcoin. This graph here, you should keep an eye on like a hawk, because MicroStrategy moves first rather than Bitcoin. I want that to be clear as well. Now, as everyone's saying, and as I said last time as well, that it looks like the Russell 2000 is about to break out, and there are some other key factors that are breaking out. So my understanding of Bitcoin following that is also there, right? So I'm layering in multiple levels of confidence and understanding of what's going on, that I see Bitcoin having some form of a rally still. I am. But I think when there is the ultimate sort of when we have the ultimate level of liquidity being closed off by Japan, which I expect to happen, I would not be surprised if we don't see some more aggressive pullback coming in soon. We'll see. I'm just giving you the warning signs that if it does happen, that we'll be prepared. If it doesn't happen, then great. It doesn't mean being bearish now. I'm saying there are bearish signals in the graph that are pointing towards a potential rejection zones that you should look at. That's it. And I'll give it again, right? 3.24 trillion on total market cap, and Bitcoin at 100,000, 104, 107,000. That's it. That's all you need to look at. And then play off that. That's it. That's what I would regard everyone to look at. Now, another confluence that I want to show you guys as well is that if you look at the liquidation heat maps, there's a very bright zone. There's a very bright zone, right? It's a super bright zone that it's just like, hey, Brev, this area here is some strong ever. I would keep an eye on around the 98,000. Around the 98,000 level, Brev. You know what I'm saying? Like around that level is going to be a level that there's going to be a lot of liquidity taken. And sometimes when that liquidity is taken, you can see a further rallying up and test of this around the 103,000 level, right? Which, where's 103? Yeah, about 100 million there. All the way up to there will be over 100 million. That's what I'm seeing. And even if we think of the even higher numbers around that level, yeah, that area there up to the 107 would be the maximum cleaning out of all the leverage longs. And the thing is, you guys need to understand, you really have to be careful about leveraging. The more that speculators remove themselves from this market, the more positive price action we will get as we move along. We will start moving into a spot buying culture rather than leverage buying culture. I would most likely go to 84 before heading up to 100. Now, this right now is the question mark. This right now is the question mark. I believe with all that's coming in, with all the structures that I'm seeing, with all the liquidity growing, with all the other factors in the market, such as Russell and the markets getting this level of how can I say, security, a little bit of security in the money markets and support through liquidity that the Fed is doing on a monthly basis will push markets up. That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking. And again, you guys don't have to listen to me. This is what I'm assuming is going to happen from previous market structures, from previous runs, from what I'm seeing in the market. This is what I'm seeing. Is that enough? Are you guys happy? And if you guys want to join a place where it's just, you know, where you guys can sit, enjoy, understand what's going on, talk to various other members, you guys can join the Learn by Alvarez group. It's very simple to do. If you're on YouTube, I would like love it if you guys can follow, or in fact don't follow. I don't know. It'd be great if you guys can do that, so you can hear these updates popping up rather than trying to find it on the Tickety Talk. You can be actually on you know, and seeing my graph and everything else. And if you're on X, I put the latest information on there as well. Right? These are the things I want to show you. And if you want to see the group, it's not just another cycle, it's a super cycle. Not this right now. The one in 2026, around May, I would expect that's what we're going to be getting. Seriously. I really, I really do believe that. And you're going to be in a scenario where you're going to be, and this is the thing, a lot of people, this is what really annoys me as well. A lot of people buy when things are up here, or there or up here, when things are crazy bullish, but they don't buy when things are bearish. Why? Why? And that's the question, and I will always, what's going on here? Hello? Come on, TikTok. You can do it. You can do it. There we go. That's what I would say, right? Emotion, FOMO, emotion, chasing green candles, all that kind of stuff. And that's, once you change that mentality, and this season should be a full-blown test to all of you guys, right? There should be something that really teaches you that if you can change that mentality of yours, it's going to be forever enormous for you. It's been, alts have been bearish. What's it called? Bitcoin has been bullish. What's with the markets? I don't know. Not much. It's just usual cycle understanding. We're looking at the Fed going. I mean, everything I've said has come to fruition. Pump into the Fed, pull back after the Fed, and then I'm expecting a run up until the bank rates. What's your new video about? Nothing. It's just a trend. I thought I'd jump on it. It's just a trend, man. I thought people would like it, and they were like, psh, psh, why is this guy dancing on the screen? This ain't no crypto god. That's that thing. So this is where we are. That's why I'm humble opinion. And if you guys want to, I'm glad you didn't like it. You probably liked what's his name? What was it? William Watson's one. That's your favorite one, I know. He's your bestie. Ready for Japan next week? Yeah. Anyway, and look, if you guys want to go and check out this token, let me just put it into the chat. People are asking me what it is. Let me put this into the chat. 1 second. Put that there. Did they come out? They only come out and kick. Why did you just come out and kick? That's stupid. All right, I'll put it on to X as well. All right, if you guys want to check out this token, this is it. Let me put this here. There we go, and then I'll put it on the tube as well. Let's just see what the tube is doing. I like and comment on all your videos. I appreciate that. I've been back in the hedge fund that is, mate. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. All right, and I'll put it into the chat here. There we go. you guys want to check it out, it's on ETH, all that kind of jazz and everything else. Just a lot of cool things are coming. That's all. Now, that's it. All right. And if you guys want to join me on the thing, I'm actually going to be playing this game on my live for like 5 minutes at a time. If you guys want to, you guys can join and be a part of my team and my what's it called, my management team, and we can play and trade trade players, build up players, and all this kind of stuff. This is a World Cup play, so you understand. No marketing has started on this thing yet at all. Anyway, that's it. Right. Any questions? Any questions that you guys thinking about this present? What do you want to ask me? What's going on? Link don't work on... What link doesn't work on you? What link doesn't work on YouTube? What are you talking about? There, just go to the link tree. There you go. Link tree. Oh. Wait. No, it's here. There you go. You go here. Learn my Alvarez. There. Just click on that. You're there. In it, Brev. And if you want 0 fees on Mexi, you can just go, okay, I've done a deal with them where you basically get 0 fees. Like, literally. Do you have any projections for Fat Cat this cycle? Well, I'm holding all my tokens. It's one of the only 3 that I expect to hold at this present period. And when liquidity starts to move, I'm going to be going heavy into that as well. That's the thing. This market has me questioning if crypto is real. Well, then it's doing its job well. Then it's doing its job extremely well at the moment. If you feel that, that means that you're... Look, think it this way, right? Think it this way. If you are going to invest in any token, right? Would you want to be investing in that when everyone is bullish, happy, and think that everything's going to be good and all this kind of stuff and all that? Do you want to invest that moment or get into it before everyone else does? Be at that place where things are at its worst and then experiencing the liquidity drive that we've had in this movement. MK, man. I mean, I guess you're right. Am I allowed to write a more Pappy Alvarez and William Watson fan fiction if you want to? I actually genuinely like William Watson. I don't know why you guys are doing, right? I don't know why you guys are doing this, but I genuinely like the guy. And it's amazing. I think I'm kind of sending him a lot more followers and viewers. And he's not sending me any, right? Which is a very unfair exchange in this scenario. Because I don't see anyone talking about me in their lives. Because when they talk about me in their lives, they're like, oh, scammer. Have you met him? Oh, he's an idiot. Oh, my God. And I'm like, I like these guys. There's a slight difference between the two of us. Me, I'm just like, they're cool. And they're like, oh, my God. Have you met him? He's like the worst person ever created. Just like, you know what I mean? Terrible. Do you know anything about him? No, but I just don't like him. Sorry. All right. I think that was a I think that was a really accurate way. I think there was that was a really accurate sort of interpretation of the way they speak about me. Honestly, I think they've never talked to me. This is the craziest part of it. You know, I have no problems with people not liking someone, right? I have no problem with people not liking someone if they've met them and they don't get along and all this kind of stuff. Perfectly fine with that. I have no issue with that. But these guys have never met me. They never met me. They've never had a single word conversation with me ever. And they just don't like me. I don't get it. Whatever. It's fine. No problem. Maybe it's because I give them work and stuff. That's probably why they don't like me. Yeah, the people sponsoring them are... Yeah. Sorry. By the Moxie indicator. Definitely not sponsored. They don't make any money from it. Anyway, I'll catch you guys. Can we have a 20... Can we have a 20? Can we have a 20% pump now? Then I'm good for the 20% on what? God. 20% on what? What is that 20% move on? What are you talking about? You mean Bitcoin? I mean, what are we looking at? What kind of move is this? Good. I mean, technically we could, right? Technically we could get you could learn something from Coach. I like Coach JV. What's wrong with Coach JV? I know people like hate on him and stuff, but I've talked to him many times. He's a really nice guy, like genuinely nice guy. I like, and William Watson too. Calvin Hill number one. I would love to talk to Calvin Hill. I think he would be the only person I would be starstruck to talk to. I don't know. I don't think I'd be able to take his level of fame when I talk to him. I mean, I've met like 50 Cent and things like that, and had conversations with him, and like, you know, met a lot of famous people in my life. But Calvin Hill is like, I don't know. I don't know if anyone's ever experienced that level of fame. Maybe if Alvarez grows a mustache like Watson, Bitcoin would pump. Have I bought his book? What are you talking about? It's my. I moved the Bible out of my son. I moved the Bible out of my side drawer. And you know what I replaced it with? I see life in bull flags now. My whole life is bull flags. Look at that. Today's my liquidity. Today I'll do 4 liquidity sweep affirmations. That's how it works. It's a really interesting book. Average, you predict April bottom. Now it's 80k bottom or something like that. Yeah. You should call Coach TY English meeting the Uber American. That would be so funny. But Coach TY is good. He's all spot and long time. Yeah, he's a cool guy. I might do a live with him. Genuinely. Like, he's a really nice guy. You know, there sometimes people make these you know, they create an image of someone. You know, they don't like him or this and the other or whatever it is, right? And when you actually talk to the guy, he's a really, really nice guy. Like, genuinely really nice guy. Calvin Hill over 50 Cent is prime comedy. He is. I'm not joking. I've actually met 50. I've had a full-blown conversation. He's 50 Cent. I want to say something about 50 Cent, right? He's one of the most intelligent musician / businessman I've ever come across. He is genuinely hilarious and genuinely clever. Like, genuinely clever. Like, he's not. And the thing is, he plays this sort of I'm a gangster and all this kind of stuff. And I promise you, I don't understand how someone tried to take him out, right? I can't understand it. Like, I can't understand how that happened, right? Because he's really funny. He's really, really funny. He's a cool guy. I've also met Nigel Farage as well. Still, I mean, comparisons are not very similar. I mean, Calvin Hill, 50 Cent, Nigel Farage. I'm going through all the bottom basement specials. Calvin Hill makes you feel bad because he pretends he makes everything right. Yeah, but whatever. There's something you can learn from him, right? There's a lot of things that he talks about that's actually, you know, has some level of fundamental truth to it, right? Although when he says, you know, if when he says things like, if you think I didn't put a trade the opposite way, you'd be wrong. When he says things like that, it makes you think, so you bet both ways. Is that how you go? And then go, oh, it's the only thing I don't like about him, right? The only thing I don't like about him is most of the stuff he does is interesting, and I'm sure that book is very useful and for beginners and all this kind of stuff, right? And secondly, I don't understand how his live has become so big. Like, I don't understand how anyone can gain anything from there. There's 2,000 people just throwing gifts at him constantly, right? And TikTok, come on, do a brother a solid and get more people into my lives. Um, Kevin, I can't read that. He's making good money with TT alone. Yeah, I'm sure he is. I just don't understand. I don't understand how he's got so many people on there. I mean, I genuinely don't understand how his live became so big. It's wild how big his live is. Like it's unbelievable. I think he's like unlocked a special tool on TikTok that TikTok pushes him to everyone. To everyone. When he's live, he's on TikTok. I think it's partly because he gets 10,000 likes at the first, 1 minute, which people don't like doing that to me. Waiting for the dip to get back in. Yeah, that's what I'm looking at, right? But we'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see if I'm correct or not. He's very good at marketing. He must be amazing. I don't know how he gets so many people in there. I mean, look, don't get me wrong. He does have some, I wouldn't say he's dumb. No way would you say that. He has great levels of analysis on certain levels and this and the other. He just sometimes has a bit of a, opportunist vibe about him. That's it. That's all I will say. Other than that, it's good. All that's all cool. By the way, if you like Coach JV, I would make sure you look at that token. That's all I'm gonna say. Is the silence working? I don't know if the silence working because it's always silence. I'm talking to myself most of the time. Cool. Anyway, so what else should I look at? Does anyone want me to look at uh does anyone want me to look at XRP? Let's look at XRP. You want me to look at XRP? Let's see what the best coin ever created is doing. What's XRP up to? Yeah, I know silver's up. Look at copper. I think copper's gonna be next. Did you look at Sol? Oh, actually, let me look at Sol. 1 second. I went to a family friend's house, right, the other day, and man, their house is like Hogwarts. Yeah, so that's why don't catch the falling knives. Don't do that. Ripple pays Coach JV good money. You should look into that. No, Ripple doesn't pay him good. Uh, I yeah, I can't say too much about Coach. He's a really good guy, right? Coach JV is a really really cool guy. But that's not how he works. That's not the way he works. His thing. He's a person that will buy long term, hold long term, and he doesn't get paid by projects. He sees the benefit in them and pushes them. That's how it works. He's a unique guy. Oh yeah, XRP. That's why I would say look at the a lot of look. The thing is, there's a lot of I can't say too much about it, but there's a lot of look. You guys need to understand this, right? I'll say it in this manner. Right? Um, Marketing is needed for any token. You just have to be there early. Do you understand what I mean? Like you just have to be there early. So if you're the person, if you've not seen someone say something anywhere else and they say it, then that's the person, that's what you should be, then you should then consider looking at it. But if you've heard it the 40th time, it's too late. And this is coming from someone this is business, right? This is what I do for my, I mean, I don't make anything from any of this stuff. Even my pro group, I don't make anything from it. It's there to just try and make people get cut through the noise. But understand this. This is the little tip I will give you. If you hear it somewhere, hint, what I've just showed you. If you hear it somewhere and you've not heard it anywhere else anymore, and it looks really interesting, then you need to understand. That's how you do your research. Look at it, search it around. If you can't hear anything about it, that might be a good thing to go into. If you go into it and you hear it everywhere, then be cautious. That's the best way to describe it. Yeah, that's how we work. All right, cool. Referral code for the game. I'll put that in afterwards. I'm not here. I'll just put that in afterwards. You can check out the game. It's a really cool game. Genuinely, really a cool game. That's all I'm gonna say. All right, guys, look. You look at XRP, and then I'm out of here. All right, what does XRP look like? Terrible. It looks absolutely terrible. I mean, it's getting to a okay. Look. We could potentially, let's just adjust this a little bit, right? We could potentially be seeing this is a hard one. I think it's going to go and try and take out this bottom. No, I don't even know. It's hard with XRP, you know. Have a look. Yeah, this looks like it's going to try and take out this. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's holding the 198, which gives an indication that this thing could try and break out of this trend line, but I think the 1.8 is where it's going to be, where this thing will move from. Even potentially take out the 177. But I think if this here is going to be tested, I'm almost certain the 1822 is going to be tested. Do VeChain? I asked all night. You hate me. What? Oh, VeChain. Oh, VeChain. Let me look at VeChain. See what VeChain's up to. I didn't know you asked all night. I didn't see it. Probably it doesn't pop up. Sometimes when you do things, it doesn't pop up. Not great. I'm not gonna say it's fantastic, but with their new Hayabusa update, and then further moving into the next stage, which I can't really say what they're called, I really do think that there's a potential for this to move. Right? It's a old chain that still has high market cap, but is completely evolving its metrics. I mean, I've put some in here, staked it, and I'm waiting. This is my long-term wait and see. I haven't put a lot, but I've just stated and looking at. My life looking at VeChain right now. Hey. All right, look, guys. I'm gonna love you and leave you, right? If you want to continue the conversation, just go, as I said, I'll show it to you here. Just go to the link tree, click on there, right? Let this load up if the internet is working. Go to the Learn by Alvarez, click in there, and then that's the TG group that everyone can chat and talks about that. He hates me now, I know. I don't hate anyone. I don't hate anyone. People don't like me for some reason. Like, people don't like me for some reason, and I don't know why. But yeah, that's it. Okay, is going to list Brett. Fantastic. That will be a Seldon news event. I promise you that. If it hasn't pumped before it's listed, it usually with exchange listings, you will get the pump before, and then OKX will sell all of the supply it's taken from. Remember what I said. Okay. Just saying. All right. Love you and leave you. Catch you guys later. Peace, bye, all that kind of affections and stuff. All right. Take care. Bye bye. All right. Now, you guys as well. Let me just head this off. Awesome seeing you guys. You guys have been incredible. Check out the links. Check out all the other applications. Check out the Mexi. You see people trading on it. 0% fees on leveraged. 0% fees. You don't get that anywhere else. I'm the only one that creates it. So go and check it. Enjoy through there. And also check out XI. This thing, just like for everyone that's here, to have an understanding of how long of a project this is going to be, and how much of a move that this thing is going to do, right? I would, I'm doing this for the long. I'm actually going to play the game. The game itself will adjust and move this thing in the right direction. All right, guys. A lot of love, affection. I'll catch you guys later.